calling upon the next team to present on unlocking credit access for street vendors, the role of account aggregators in PM SVANidhi Yojana. For this very interesting topic, we would call upon the team from HDFC Bank, Anumati and Finagg.
Good evening, everyone. I am Nipun Kohli from Finagg, and I have my colleagues, from HDFC Bank, Tushar and Mr. Ritesh. And today we will present what HDFC Bank has done with Finagg as a TSP and Anumati as an account aggregator for Prime Minister SVANidhi program. A little bit about the Prime Minister SVANidhi program. So this program was introduced in the pandemic as part of one of the stimulus which was given to MSMEs, specifically street vendors, where there was a corpus of money which was allocated from Prime Minister funds to not only give credit guarantee but also give subventions and encourage digital collections. And this was the program which was launched, and then various banks were asked to build technology which can enable street vendor financing, and where the borrower was given first initially 10,000 rupees for the first year, and which he has to repay in 12 months, and when he repays he gets another 20 grand, and in the last he gets 50 grand. We got an opportunity to work with HDFC Bank as a technology partner to enable our technology to do this, and get this thing rolled out. And this was and the most important part in this whole assignment was, and which we'll demonstrate in a few minutes, was new to bank customers, where the street vendor need not have a bank account in the HDFC Bank, right? And in that case, for checking activeness of the bank account and making sure that the collection, there is a churning or there is a money coming into the account aggregator was very essential part for checking the bank account. And this is the reason why we had used the account aggregator framework. My team from HDFC can update you about pre and post, what kind of reduction it brings to the table in case of onboarding, and maybe it allowed us to move from about 16, 17 days. Maybe Tushar, if you can add the reduction in the time. Yeah.
So, hi everyone. Hope I'm audible. So primarily the journey is for street vendors, wherein we earlier what it used to happen is the street vendor, if he wants to avail the loan of this PM SVANidhi scheme, so he has to visit the branch multiple times, or our executives have to visit the street vendor on their locations multiple times. Plus it used to take approximately 20 to 27 days, it is on PM SVANidhi's website also, for a loan to be disbursed to the particular bank account. So now what we have done is we have created the journey to make sure that the street vendors who are taking the loan, they need not to give much inputs. The banking of the street vendors should be validated with the help of account aggregators. Plus, this loan should not be only for ETB customers, which is existing to the bank customers, it should be for the NTB customers as well. So what we have done is we have created the journey where is the minimum impact, so that the street vendor has to click the minimum possible number of times that we can enable the street vendor to do it. There are approximately 7 to 8 clicks or maybe 9 clicks the street vendor has to do in the entire journey without entering a single input in terms of data, which is not essential for the banking perspective, and then get the loan. And overall the journey from 20 to 27 days, it is reduced to from 20 to 27 days to 17 minutes, so which we have experienced with the NTB customers. And where the account aggregator plays a very critical role in between, primarily not to validate whether the customer's banking is there or not, but primarily to validate whether the customer's banking continuity is there or not, and the bank account is active or in an inactive stage, which happens in a fraction of seconds or maybe in a few seconds, where the customer has to initiate the account aggregator part, and it gets done within maybe 5-10 seconds, or depending upon the connectivity of that part or the particular location. So what we'll do is we'll go through the demo of the flow. What we have done is, so we've divided the journey into 2 parts primarily, which is first part would be the bank's part, where the bank validates bank's executive validates the journey. So just a minute. Where the bank executive validates the journey in terms of the street vendor, inputting the basic information about the street vendor, and then every information which is inputted by the bank staff is validated with the help of SIDBI's input, which is the governing body governing this particular program. And each and everything is validated from the back end where the street vendor has everything pre-published or pre-inputted on the screens just to validate yes or no. So first step would be the bank staff validating himself that whether he is a bank staff and he originates. So what he does is he enters his mobile number, which is pre-populated. He enters his OTP to validate himself. And after he validates himself, there are 5 or 6 questions which the bank staff has to fill, which is a pre-validation of the street vendor, wherein the name, which is the date of visit when the bank staff is visiting, that is pre-populated. He need not to fill. Mobile number of the street vendor, which is registered with SIDBI as a governing body. Then the vending activity, all these 5-6 inputs, these are filled by the bank staff, which gets pre-validated or validated at the back end. After the bank staff fills all this information, he clicks on the link to send the link to the street vendor via SMS. Street vendor receives an SMS, which is this SMS that he receives, where he can click on the link, which is a bit.ly link, to initiate the journey. Now the journey is purely assisted journey, where the bank staff will assist the street vendor on his or her device to validate or to go through the entire journey and close it within 17 minutes. Street vendor clicks on this link. This link opens where you can select 2 languages, primarily English and Hindi. Other languages are on the go. A basic about the scheme. Street vendor gets this mobile number, which is pre-populated because the bank staff has already filled the mobile number. He can select via date of birth or PAN. If he selects via date of birth, then the journey proceeds with the various verifications of the terms and conditions. After validation of the terms and conditions, there is an OTP which is published to the street vendor. He validates himself with the OTP. While this hold on message comes, all the information are fetched from SIDBI and the backend processes of the bank, wherein these application details, vending details, area of vending, and all these applications inputs are fetched, pre-filled. These inputs are validated by the street vendor. He can go through the entire journey, entire screens. If he has already given the PAN in the initial stage, this screen of PAN validation will not come. If he gives the input in terms of PAN, he has to enter the PAN details or the voter ID card as an additional ID proof. If he enters PAN, which is validated as per NSDL guidelines, and then we proceed. Once the customer is identified as an NTB customer, now we need to give the loan either to the HDFC Bank customer only, so that the street vendor opens the account in our bank. But what we have done is to enable these street vendors so that they can use their existing bank accounts also. It can be any other bank other than HDFC Bank. They can validate their banking via Account Aggregator. Once they validate their banking via Account Aggregator, all the informations in terms of the bank account which they have used for validation for Account Aggregator, that gets mapped at our platform, and he can then initiate the journey with the help of that bank only. Once everything is okay in terms of happy journey, and the street vendor gives all these inputs in terms of lat-long locations and all, then the loan gets sanctioned. Key fact sheet and every other required documents are signed by the street vendor in terms of e-sign, and finally the loan is disbursed. So the entire process from initiating the click of the street vendor via the SMS till the disbursement, it takes approximately 17 minutes to complete the entire journey, which includes the account aggregator based verification plus the e-mandates, because this is an out of the bank customer. So e-mandate, account aggregator, e-sign and everything, which is done by the street vendor. Now our bank staff will guide the street vendor in terms of how this can be completed, and with the entire process. It can be in Hindi or English at present. This is about the journey. There would be a few testimonials also. So street vendors primarily, so what we have experienced is, so they are very happy in terms of,
नमस्ते, मैं लव कुमार बोल रहा हूँ। मैं एक ठेला लगाता हूँ और रोज के बेस पे मुझे पैसों की कठिनाइयाँ होती है। पहले लोन लेना बहुत मुश्किल होता था, बार बार बैंक जाना पड़ता था, दस्तावेज ना होने के कारण बहुत कठिनाइयाँ होती थी। फिर सब कुछ आसान हो गया है। HDFC प्रधानमंत्री योजना स्वनिधि योजना के तहत, इस योजना के तहत सब कुछ आसान हो गया। जब बैंक ने किसी दस्तावेज ना होने के कारण 10,000 का लोन दिया, इससे सब कुछ आसान हो गया। इसके तहत हमें टाइम पे लोन चुकाने पर 20,000 से 50,000 तक का हमें लोन मिलेगा।
So primarily what used to happen was like based on the feedback that we got from various vendors, which is primarily they have to leave their job at their locations and waste the time in terms of traveling to the branches because of the certain documentations which happen as a process, which is a mandate process from the guidelines perspective. And that actually hampers their earnings because they primarily work on the daily wages sort of things or daily earnings sort of things. This has helped them to reduce all those things, plus they can get these loans at their preferred times also, so during the banking hours primarily, which can be till 7 or 8 p.m. But they can get the loans within a few minutes with the help of getting the loans onto their existing bank account. Need not to open the bank with the account with the HDFC Bank credentials or HDFC Bank as well. This is about the journeys. If you have any questions, we can address those questions.
In addition to this, now there is a next phase of this which is in the process, where there is a new program called PM Vishkarma, where artisans or handicrafts, tailors, right, electricians are getting financed. So the similar account aggregator journey is getting developed for that particular case, where they will get loans up worth 1 lakh to 5 lakhs, again, which is part of the Prime Minister Vishkarma program on the same lines. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for presenting such interesting work. Sorry, I really don't think we have any time for questions. Can you frame your questions in just 30 seconds? Who has the question? Yeah, just be very fast, please.
Just from a process point of view, so if the customer is not a HDFC customer and he wants to open, you said the loan will get dispersed in the other account, right? So is that also done through this process, or it's a separate offline one?
No, this is purely a digital process for NTB customers who don't hold the account with HDFC Bank. NTB is primarily the customer which is new to the bank customer.
Correct.
That means the customer doesn't have any relationship with the bank, and he can avail the loan on his existing bank account also.
Yeah.
And
so
this is purely with the digital journey. No manual intervention, no documentation required, no physical documentation required.
understood, because the loan account has to open in the other bank, right? So that also happens in this digital journey itself.
Loan account will remain with this.
Like most of the customers, do not hold account with us. So that's the reason this journey is developed, so that we disburse the amount into the customer's account wherever he holds it. So maybe he's holding with SBI, or maybe he's holding with Bank of Baroda, or maybe with ICICI. We can disburse this loan into his account because he has that comfort, banking with that particular account for years, where he's making the payment to the vendors and, depositing the cash, whatever he has earned daily. So he has that comfort. So that's the reason he would prefer, getting the loan disbursed in the account where he's comfortable with. So that's the reason we have used account aggregator, to disburse account in the account where he holds, with whichever bank he holds the account.